Welcome, everyone, to Rebirth, a D&D Tale. Where we had left off, our band of adventurers, the Lucky Sevens, had previously met a Professor Wickerbottom, a halfling wizard professor at the Academy of Wizardry in Uct, and was the foremost authority on the climate, the changes, the things that have changed over time. Had even written a book or two about the whole thing, one of which our party is now in possession of. And with that information, knowing that Caleb, their nemesis, is heading to Uct to absorb possibly more of this aberrant specimen sort of thing that's been going from Uct to the Greoran Empire, they have set out to stop him. In order to do that, they need to get through the Impagu jungle. They need to get through the wasteland that surrounds the center of the country of Uct to get to the very, very large, somewhat petrified tree in the center of it. And with some guidance from the Wizardry Academy, they've discovered that most of the Impagu jungle still has the remnants of the illusions that were crafted to keep non-gnomes out, some of which could be very deadly. And so, with that being said, the party of Vanya, Alira, and Karobe have returned to the group with the information about what they found in the jungle, the night that they spent there. And that is where we begin. So, Lucky Sevens, what do you do?
After regaling the tale of what we have discovered in Noct, from the trees trying to end up consuming you to the idea of Al trying to end up, if gained through illusions, so going so far as to walking us off cliffs, it certainly became a bit of a hassle. The sad truth of it is that I ended up, pardon. The truth is that it's going to be precarious at the very least. To end up seeing those trees come alive was difficult. More difficult when you start hearing the voices. Loved ones that you long to see again, tempting you into the woods. Even now, I still think I should have ended up chasing after the opportunity that Goulant might still be alive. Of course, Grobe ended up insisting that it's all an illusion. But that's the worst part about illusions. It seems obvious until you get used to it. Then you start ignoring your friends' cries for help. You're not sure if your party's in danger unless somebody's being devoured and you hear them crying out or you see them eaten. You want to reach for it to save them, but they're not there. Or worse, they are. And you walk away. Try and imagine what that's like. To know that the person's right there to save you. And for all you know, That's the illusion. But when you're being eaten, you'll reach to anything for help. And you'll be ignored. That's what we're heading into. Where we can't even trust that we're still together. Or maybe it's to make us question if we're still in the forest. It's just letting us think we got out. This is how insidious it gets. A parlor trick is making someone think that there's a forest when in reality it's a cliff. It's another one you can't trust the thing in front of you. It's with great apprehension that I'd go back, but something tells me the Lucky Sevens won't stop, even if I implore them. And truthfully, given what we've seen with Caleb, we couldn't even if we wanted to. I finished telling them the tale on what we've encountered thus far, trying to get them acclimated to the situation at hand. Though I imagine my common is very, very poorly received. Not a language I've come to be accustomed to, but nevertheless I do try. And so that's what we're up against. And even now, I'm trying to think on how we can end up doing anything about the trees, far less the impact. And in truth, to what end? To dismantle the Empire's war machine? To stop a second collapse? It all seems absurd, but then again, everything above the surface is absurd.
Everything about it is strange and unusual to you.
So, what do you all think?
We could burn it all down.
If it would let us. I have no doubt that many of fires have attempted to be set. Were it so simple to apply a tinder stick, move on. Were it so simple.
Well, for those of us who know the spell, we can probably make it quite a ways through.
Which
Dispel.
To remove the illusions. Such as we can.
If we don't happen across the realization a little too late. Because that happened a couple times yesterday.
Kurobe pipes up. A couple of us nearly went off a cliff.
Well, prepare fire spells and dispel, I believe, is the course. If they are trees, after all, they will burn.
I think they just call them trees to allude that there might be something familiar to them.
Well, to hide what they truly are, they appear as trees. Is there really even a forest?
More of an infection.
Well, the thing about infections is you burn them out.
They mess with your head.
Yeah, those, if it's not the trees, and what other abominations there are in that? There's little dead areas that like to trick your mind. Alira's already told you, but just the voices luring you in.
I won't deny, just from what we hear, the people that do live in this country are rather resilient, it seems.
They are
Well,
indeed.
they'd have to be to deal with this kind of mindfuck situation with everything not always being what it appears.
Or perhaps are completely resistant to such effects.
Potentially.
Maybe.
Well, I'd hate to assume the alternative.
That being,
They're enthralled with it, existed with it for so long that they're just playing along. Because at that point, what's the difference between their perception and the reality of the situation?
well, I don't know how to find that out directly, but I know we need to keep moving. And we
Go ahead. My bad.
need to find Caleb. Well, destroy the source of these. He can't be allowed to absorb more. Consume more. That will be very bad.
A bit of a question. I guess we've proposed it, but what do we know if he has a specific target, or is it that if he were to come in contact with any of this stuff, he could just become a part of it? Have we established that?
I think. Go ahead.
You had
Please, don't all speak at once.
we know that the piece that we took, he has taken and consumed. Something about the mother.
And it was a gnome.
How all of the things affect if he can mess with that, but we do know the specific pieces. Yes, it did have the appearance of a gnome in the flesh thing.
Yeah, gnome head. I was there. I remember it quite well. Which I think you said you spoke with the gnomish people around here? Didn't go well?
Not as well as one would hope. It's... Remember our conversation with Wickerbottom. Very much difficult to end up... Very much difficult to end up... understanding the long term.
Right. I can't remember like 90% of what she said, but we have a book.
We do indeed have a book.
You do indeed.
And it's signed. Collector's edition.
May I see this?
Yes. Please.
In Lagan, when you open it, it's a relatively standard tome on the outside. It has a
Right.
as a kind of a symbol to kind of indicate Ukt as a country with the title, that indicates the I don't have the full title, but when you open it up, the inside is drawings and effects and landscape maps and just about anything that you would need to know about the current creatures that have been discovered in Ukt.
Okay.
A lot of them look very much flesh-like. Others are look like combination of different animals. Some are giant insects. Some are just walking blobs of flesh. When you look at the different diagrams, and all of which have different ways that they attract prey. In fact, one creature you would recognize in there is the Wendigo.
Oh.
Because y'all have run into one of those before.
Right.
Out of curiosity, maybe we can find something in there, because to my understanding, this isn't just fauna, but also flora and fauna as well.
Yes.
Indeed.
So maybe we can find something that's, pertinent.
I'm
I
reading
mean,
the book.
if this is an infection, and we are to assume an infection has to reside within a body.
It has to have a host, to have a source.
Has to have a source.
Yes.
And it's a system.
Yes.
Because an infection doesn't start with, it starts with a source, but it chooses to target certain areas, depending on what it is, right?
What it needs
What it needs. Okay.
to continue to propagate itself.
Okay.
It invades, it takes over, makes whatever it needs for itself to keep self-replicating and spread from there.
So we know it's going to continue spreading, but
Yes.
where
We-
does it propagate from? Is it
And what does it need?
yes.
these
I'll give
are
you
all
that one
good-
for free, because that's in the forward of the book. That all of these aberrations, all of these mutations, all of these strange beings that have come to exist are because of the tree in the center of the wasteland. The flesh tree, as its not moniker, but when you flip to the page that describes it itself, you discover that it is not, in fact, a tree made of wood. It is a tree made of the flesh of gnomes that have been mind controlled and captured become part of this thing, and during the time 100 years ago, was separated from its main source, which was the calamity.
You know, that might be it. I mean, okay, that's fair. We were going to the flesh tree anyways.
Mhm.
I almost want to question. I feel like something that might be pertinent for us is trying to figure out not just like a dispel, but if there's like a more permanent solution, a more and more consistent solution to some of the problems we face. Like, obviously we can't be trudging through soul-sucking grass. Grass, she says again, air quoting.
Mm-hmm.
Without destroying the area. I know of no other permanent solution.
I'm
So,
just saying,
Arya,
there might be, yes.
if you want to reference the book for something like that, I will give you a investigation check at advantage.
Yes. What I'm specifically looking for is like
How to protect yourself against mind control.
Yes, and I'm also suggesting like some sort of magic item or artifact that we as a party can utilize together.
Okay.
Grab a dice. Stretch.
Yep, that'll be an investigation check because that might be in the book.
Okay. Yeah, all right. First roll is a 3.
Mm-hmm.
Second roll is a 17.
Okay. Plus your investigation.
That's a flat 0, my guy.
Okay, so 17 it is.
It is what it is.
You turn to the section that's been kind of labeled a sort of a protections against these sort of things section, and the text urges you to provide yourself some way of mechanically granting yourself advantage on saving throws against mind control. To block your mind completely would be something like a mind blank spell. A protection from scrying, something like that. That's like the kinds of rings that would protect you from that. I forget what they're called, but rings of like mind protection or something to that effect. These things can be purchased, typically outside of Uct, because Uct does not have very much in the way of the materials to be able to make these things. You might find one in the possession of someone at the Wizardry Academy, but as far as you understand, the resources to protect yourself are very limited being here. You have what you have and not much else. As that was part of the talking to the dean at the Wizardry Academy would have imparted to you all.
Very well. So this is just going to be an ongoing issue. Is it in your scouting mission? It was easy enough to avoid a lot of the soul sapping terrain, correct? Not correct?
Well, as long as I didn't directly look at it, we were mostly fine. But that also gives way to, falling prey to the illusionary covered cliff. Because that almost happened as well.
Gods.
It's a mess out there, but we managed it. We managed to go out a full day and back. And I think with Lagan helping me, we should be able to pick out the illusions before anyone falls prey to them.
Potentially, but even I am susceptible to such things.
As
Yeah.
am I.
Illusions for a reason. And all to fullness senses, however. We can potentially go further and we'll figure something out.
It's gonna be a very slow trip regardless because of how we have to do it.
Well,
We keep going.
I don't have any sort of dispel magic. I have counterspell. I know that like the back of my hands.
As far as what you were asking about, for me, I can help in some of those situations for about 10 minutes. I have some auras that I can clarify. It's a 30-foot sphere that surrounds me, and I have the aura of purity that you can't become diseased, you have resistance to poison, and then you have advantage on saving throws for sorry, blinded, charmed, deafened, frightened, paralyzed, poisoned, and stunned. Or,
Which is definitely very advantageous.
or the aura of life that for the same 30-foot sphere radius and non-hostile, you have resistance to necrotic damage. Your hit point maximum can't be reduced, and if you drop to 0 in this aura, you start back with 1. If it starts its turn in the aura with 0 hit points, it automatically gets 1.
Which is good when going into those kinds of situations.
Yeah.
That sounds tremendously useful.
Those are the only other securities that I might be able to offer in the situation, but they are very situational and they are very limited in duration and
I think anything we do will be limited in duration and the amount of times we can use it. Which is why I said it's going to be a very, very slow trip.
And just take it easy, I suppose, and stay on each other's backs.
banishment helps too.
Keep your eyes peeled. When shall we get started with this insane little trip of ours?
I can't imagine we'd be able to make it in one day, so let's go over a map really fast and try and figure out checkpoints, maybe?
I could see about pointing out where those other illusions were. Not that that'd do any good, but...
Let's see. The map we're looking at in Roll20 is the map that we actually have, correct? Okay.
Yep, it is. It's the map that has been drawn for you in the book that Wickerbottom gave you.
Yes.
Wonderful. Slowborough. What is that? Is that like a bog, a marsh?
It's an abandoned city.
I like that. Let's go to the abandoned city and start right there.
Okay, so where you are currently is the capital city of Dawnmire. So that would be
Huh?
right around 200 miles from where you are, going through the Impagu jungle, which is where the illusions that you found were. And,
Or, what if we took the road? Would that be easier?
the road going south around the jungle would be a safer route, as you would avoid the ancient illusions entirely.
Okay. That might help. We could go around the jungle and then meet up at that where the trail is down at the bottom of the map right there.
Yep, right here.
I don't know what that is. Yeah, but
It's a
yeah, I don't know
village.
what that is.
It's a farming
It's a
village.
We'll hit that farming village there, and then we'll just scoot our way on up because we're trying to get to the tree.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Okay.
Alright, sounds good.
So,
What's a humanoid fog?
I don't like that.
Your
Where did you
naming
see that?
Your
Where did you
naming
see-
conventions are odd. Well, how am I supposed to unsee it? Statue of a hero. I'm curious about that.
I won't lie. I'm a
Why?
little
Why
curious,
did they
too.
type in formerly Ispit Moors? Formerly Sickly Wood. Even if the locations have changed, in effect, do the names change? Does your name change when you change form? And does that stick when it comes to an illusory form? You have some very strange customs.
I don't know. I know they change. I know the name changes when another country takes it. But I don't think that necessarily counts. I don't know if the thing, this goop that we're going to be judging through at any point in time is necessarily a country. I guess it could be, since it's made of bodies. I don't like any of this. I'm done with the philosophy. I can't handle this.
Grimstall Basin. Grimstall or Grimstall?
Yes.
And this Whistelgate.
Whistle. Do you-
Then why'd they put a T in there?
because it's spelled like that.
Common's so confusing.
Indeed. Indeed it is.
It gets worse the more you learn.
Especially if you try to type out words in Gnomish in a common pronunciation. You have extra letters in there.
I imagine it's like old traditional Scottish or Irish, like Gaelic or something like that, where it's just. I met someone recently, and their name was Siobhan. It was spelled like Siobhan. And I was like,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Siobhan.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, indeed.
That's how I imagine it.
All right. So, heading south from Dawnmire, you'll end up going through a couple of other smaller villages to that are kind of a farming community as well, going in that direction. Mostly gnomes, and only some of the taller humanoids, like a couple of tieflings, a couple humans, but predominantly of a gnomish descent. There are farms where you can, barter for food. You have plenty of food for your travels, by virtue of that. You You can make any other stops that you would like here, but there's not a whole lot going on in these little farming villages. There may be a couple of families each before you dredge another 25, 50 miles and come across another little village. More farming. Lots of fruits and vegetables. You don't really see much in the way of cattle farms. Which is predominantly what your food stores that you've purchased from the Uct region have been, is preserved fruits, vegetables, grains, things of that sort. Mostly of that sort of nature. Where, if you do see any animals along the route, it is simply you've run across wild deer, wild hogs, wild cattle. There's a bunch of creatures out here, but they're all not tamed. And so, you have that for the first 50 miles going south. Then you start getting into sort of an open plain area. You see the forest, the jungle, to the north of you. You kind of see it on the horizon, but you continue along the river to find your way to that sort of larger village that you were aiming for on the map. And that takes a span of about 2 days of travel. And it feels kind of nice not going through the jungle, as it were, because there's a lot less in the way of hazards coming this way. You do run into the occasional sort of wolf pack that you have to shoo off, but otherwise it's mostly that. You do occasionally, spot a tree, on these plains. They're, a little less dense than in the jungle itself, but from time to time you do still find that these trees, maybe the land around you, just kind of whispers very dully. You give it a wide berth, knowing that the trees aren't exactly what they seem to be, so you kind of give it, room to breathe, as it were. So you don't have to make any saving throws to get there. And when you do get to this village, it's again more farming families that have rows and rows of just fruits and vegetable crops that, with it becoming winter in this part of the hemisphere, are starting to slow down, to shut down. The farming for the winter is starting to close, and the people are getting ready to kind of hunker down for that. And so that's primarily what you're seeing people doing in the village at this moment. Is there anything you want to do here?
I think at this point it's best for us to end up discussing with the locals.
Hmm.
You were earlier asking, my large friend here was earlier asking about how did they adapt, or did they adapt? This is our opportunity to find out.
Okay. So there is kind of a village elder, in a way, kind of a mayor almost, who kind of oversees things going on here, and you can ask him any questions you like. He's very, very much a helpful person. So, what would you like to ask?
I guess I'll go first then. So, when we encountered some odd trees, try to stand thinking about it for a second. They and we were curious if there was. Well, how do you all go about it? Trying existing with that thing that's just in the forest, especially with what we see here, our families, their crops. How do you? She just had a loss for words on how to express it.
How do we avoid it?
Has it impacted your little community in any way?
Well, most people
We
know to
wouldn't.
stay away from it and, you know, not go anywhere close to the north and just kind of mind their own business. And generally speaking, that's how you avoid things. You avoid it. And when push comes to shove and we do need to get kind of close, the gnomish people are pretty resilient when it comes to the things of a charm nature, or I think the wizards say something about like mind control. It's it's apparently very inherent to us, and we have I guess our fake kin to thank for that back in the ancient days. So
Do mind control. Do y'all have things beyond yourselves that help with these things? Or perhaps make things?
well, I
For
don't.
some,
I'm a
uh, I'm not asking if you do this, but perhaps your people do in some
um.
capacity.
If anybody does, it be in Dawnmire.
Donmire.
And I'm guessing you just came from there? The
We
capital
did.
city?
What gave it away?
You all look like you're not from around here. And anybody who's not from around here goes to Dawnmire. If they even dare to do that. Kind of out here on our own. Ever since the big old tree rose up.
How long ago was this?
Over 100 years. Maybe a little over 100, maybe 105, 110, something like that. It just kind of grew up out of nowhere. And anybody who was anybody in the capital city was drawn into it. That's when we knew to run. Get as far away from the damn thing as possible. Women, children, poor, rich, politicians, and common folk. All of them started walking toward it like zombies. Humans entirely were unaffected
humans.
Yeah. Anyone who has any kind of Fey background was the ones that was getting eaten up, and then anybody who was a human or maybe a tiefling or something to that effect. There wasn't a whole lot of them in the whole of Uct, but it didn't want them. It wanted people like my brother.
Oh, a question.
Mm.
Are you full, religious? In any capacity?
I pray every day that the Lord Palor will bring us the sun, and he does every day.
What was the effect with, I suppose, more divine individuals, like clerics who have shown any magical skill, or
It didn't matter.
it didn't matter? Okay. And she just like looks curiously to Lagon, like
Like I said,
One-
anybody who was a Fey descent, including the elves.
okay.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And if you don't mind my saying, there's a few elves around you. You might be the worst for it.
We've already encountered a couple snags along our path here. Managed to shake it off for the most part. So far.
So far. Yep, that's what my brother said.
How long ago was it that this took your brother?
104 years ago. And you notice that he's kind of a bit of a grizzly, kind of older gnome.
Right.
Definitely got the sort of farming like wrinkles.
Have your clerics ever taken like little bits and pieces of this and put it in like holy water to see what would happen to it, or?
Oh, why? Why would you even mess with the things? It's dangerous. Even just to hold in your hand like a little piece of it? God, no. Dawn Father, protect us all.
Fight back against it somehow? I don't know.
Purify it, cleanse it.
You think if the people of Uct had the sort of resources to do that we would have tried already?
You mean to tell me that no one, out of all the individuals who know magic, in any nearby area, no one actually tried?
It devastated
With
our
with
country, young
divine-
lady.
With divine magic, specifically. Nothing?
When your population goes from several thousands living sporadically in the forest, individual villages, to mere hundreds, you ain't got nothing left.
I still find it hard to believe.
I guess it just means that you weren't old enough to know.
You know what? You're right. I wasn't here for it. I'm sorry. I just we're travelers, obviously. We're just trying
Very
to
obviously.
learn more. Yeah, learn more about the area and understand more about what it is we'll be traveling through. We've gone head to toe with a few interesting creatures before, including the jellyfish things.
Man-o-wars. Some-
Wars.
Yeah.
Sometimes they
Just
come
not
in
that-
from the ocean.
Yeah, just not the ones here, I believe.
Sometimes you find them at the mouth of the river past Teal Canyon. Sometimes they leak into the river and start harassing people when they're fishing boats and, well, not really fishing boats. We mostly scavenge for things like algae or things like that. Seaweed. Seaweed makes a really good snack. You know that?
I've heard. I've not heard. I've heard.
Well, all people love it.
I'll invest in trying it sometime. I guess the biggest question is like, we understand that the resources are scarce. It's maybe, perhaps, is there a church or temple or such locally just around these parts? Maybe we could inquire a priest on our question, because we have run experiments with aberrant creatures before.
Well, there's a small temple in town where you can worship whomever you like. Just keep it cordial. And
Yes, sir.
and the priest there, he dedicates himself to the Dawn Father. If anybody
Understood.
knows anything about religion, it'll be him.
Thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you very much. Lagan, would you like to join me? Or anyone, really?
Of course. I would like to look through the book we got from Wickerbottom on the state of religion in this. Or is there any notation of religion in this book?
Very little, if any at all. It's specifically about the creatures and the landscape.
More historical than anything would be what I would be interested in, not current.
Historically, in the book, like I said, it's specifically about landscape and creatures. It is not about any kind of religion, historical or otherwise.
Okay.
Or political, for that matter.
Okay. So yes, I would definitely like to talk to this priest.
I would as well.
As do I.
Why do I feel really bad about talking to a priest?
I don't know.
Because we've had some rather rough interactions with a few, and one just for having known us.
Arya just tilts her head at Lagan at that. You'll have to tell me about it along the way.
You feel bad about talking to a priest? I could be considered as such.
Well, I don't feel bad about talking to you. to you or at you or any of that. I quite enjoy talking to you, Lagon.
And I
Oh, thank you. And she leans in for like giving him a hug, essentially, but like just leaning into him.
Well, I suppose to the temple we go then.
of course.
Right. Holy water grenades. I mean, holy water bang bangs. Grenades aren't invented yet.
Are you sure about that?
Well, they are now.
I have a couple in my bag ready to go.
Let's hope it's not as bad with whatever we're about to do as it was with, the Man of Wars. Because that was painful.
Oh,
Well, that's what I made them out of.
Well, you head over towards the temple. It's relatively small, not just in stature, but in also square footage, more or less. It is kind of an open air sort of space where you just have the roof, you have columns to support that roof, you have the floor, but otherwise is a kind of an open air space where you have benches made of stone. You have a statue, a very sort of vague form statue, which kind of is just like a head on a sort of roughly carved, almost boulder of a body. Maybe it's meant to be vague on purpose to represent anything that you wish it to be. But it's definitely decorated with like flowers and with little wreaths, lots of little sort of grassland sort of decorations, like flower crowns and things like that. And you do see that there is one gentleman who is sweeping the floor from all of the fallen leaves that have started to blow in.
Were we given this priest's name?
Yes, Kazdar Ironpeak, Elder of the Temple.
Iron Peak.
You notice he looks a little different from the gnomes around here. That he has a little bit more of a sort of grayish skin tone, not necessarily dark like a dark gnome, but he definitely isn't as rosy as some of the other gnomes that you've seen. So maybe he's also a foreigner? It's really kind of hard to tell, though. He kind of waves at you, kind of gives you a greeting, and what he assumes might be the commonality among you, which is to say he speaks in common. Welcome in, every one of you. This is the most that I've seen at the temple in, well, at one time, I suppose.
Well, thank you. Thank you for welcoming us. We are just a small adventuring company. We're known as the Lucky Sevens. We're
Mm-hmm. You
kind
look
of new
like
to
an
the
adventuring
region.
party.
Oh,
Is this
yeah,
what
we've
they
been getting
typically
that a
look
lot.
like?
Well, you're a wide variety of individuals from a wide variety of places, I'm sure.
Indeed, indeed.
You're just fascinating.
He kind of looks around at reassessing the entire group.
It's just very, very interesting to me, and, well, anyone who's come through here looking like a bunch of ragtag individuals is usually an adventuring party, and so I'm sorry if it offends you for me to assume.
No offense
No?
taken. Just surprise.
Well, what can I do for you?
I particularly am looking for more information on the history of religion in this area and how it has been affected by the tree.
Oh. Well, that is to say that, well, I think the big thing that might have happened is, well, Ouija's followers have been less and less. I've seen less and less of them in general, actually, over the last 100 years. I would say that that's the biggest change. But, are you looking for something in specific?
More specifically, how not just that Ouija's is disappearing, it's disappearing everywhere. There are things that are also attempting to bring back the old god of death.
Oh. I have heard tales of the old god. They called him the Whispered One. But that's really about as far as my studies have ever gone. Just the mention, and that his worship has fallen off because of these sheer sort of, well, people tend to like gods who are beneficent, and if there are gods that are not beneficent, well, the ones that are going to war with them, and usually if there's a war between the gods, then it wreaks havoc on all of the world.
Something akin to that is going on, or has been for a while. There are groups of people all about that are trying to bring back the Whispered One and to release the Titan Parade.
It would spell doom.
So, and yes, Ouija's is mixed in with all of that. And
Well, no longer mixed in with all of that because her influence over the entire region has actually disappeared.
yes.
Magic in general, in the entirety of Luct, went dark.
But that is all a part of all of that as well. It is somehow all connected.
Alright.
Particularly with what Ouija's was and the attempt to bring back the old god of death.
I'm just going to let priests talk, and Arya is just going to grab Hook with Vanya's arm and direct her towards the altars to kind of sit in front of them and pray for a moment. And just pay respects really fast. She does make a point to go ahead and offer something to specifically offer something to Zufi Wow, and also sets down the little dragon figurine that she has, the gold one.
she doesn't seem like she understands whether or not she's supposed to pray necessarily to Bahamut or the dragon god in any particular way, but it's almost like she wants to. Something kind of draws her back in that.
And Vanya will join her in it. Very much new to it, but wanting to make Arya happy by joining in, at least.
Okay.
There's definitely a lot of back and forth whispering with Vanya, though. Like in between the prayers, it's almost a little bit more of like she does it less like a prayer or a chant or anything like that, and more of a conversation.
Mm. And in the midst of that conversation that you're having with Zuviwal, the land, the thing that embodies the preservation of life as you know it, you do occasionally get warm feelings kind of in your heart that maybe is an answer to your questions or pleas or to your dedications, but isn't really a voice that you hear at the moment. You're still trying to learn how it is that she speaks to you through you.
I think that's really kind of where it's at precisely.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the conversation, a lot of little whispered prayer, air quotes, conversation is like, it's more like she's having a conversation with herself quietly.
Mm.
Like, so silent that Vanya probably can't even hear what she's saying. It's almost just wording what she wants to say to Zuviwal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And in the meantime, the priest is still speaking with you, Lacan. And Kurobe and Kaz have kind of started walking around the premises just to get a lay of it, just to do something that probably isn't going to be the the theological and philosophical speech that the priest can tend to get into, but he beckons you to continue to ask questions should you need to.
Lagan is specifically looking for places of religion that may have become corrupted or have fallen out of use since the tree. Not just the disappearance of the god, but the centers that would have been used in the area.
He'll tell you about Rockingswell, which used to be the capital of Uct before the giant tree sprouted, and how that was kind of a center of commerce, a center of magical studies, a center of some religious following, but there wasn't a whole lot in Uct in general.
Mm-hmm.
Anything, if there was any kind of, larger temple, it would be there. That may have been corrupted by the tree.
Okay.
And only the wasteland that leads up to the tree starts within about 100 miles, and so no one really ventures out there except the Grioran Empire. And the Empire is the ones who have the ones who are powerful enough to stave off some of the beasts, the aberrations, monstrosities of that place.
And how do they travel out there?
Typically on foot. Or by wagon, whichever is more convenient for them. But that's getting into things that go on around the Gribstall Basin at Whistlegate.
They don't use their flying ships. Okay, I see. Hmm.
All right. Anything else you wanted to ask?
No, that covers all of the religious investigation that he was trying to do to find out if there are places that they should stop potentially between here and there.
I actually have something I wish to ask this priest about. Sir,
Yes.
getting up from her kneeling position, and turning from the altar, she just nods her head in like a semi-bow. Thank you so much for offering your hospitality for us.
Oh, of course.
I actually had a bit of an odd question about the cursed forests and whatnots. Our travels may potentially take us through those areas, and I was curious to know if maybe you, as a holy devout, have ever attempted to, I suppose, use any sort of spellcraft or purification rituals on these places, or did so on a part of it or a piece of it. The reason I ask is we've done so with normal mana wars and found the effects very explosive. So generally speaking, we don't do that. Yeah. Oh. But I'm curious if you've attempted so, done so. To any effect.
Well, I am capable of creating holy water. But as far as like a kind of a broad scale sort of purification of a place, I don't exactly have that kind of power. I'm just a small town priest. I really only can do so much.
Understandable. That's perfectly fine. I think holy water. I think she looks over to Lagon. I think we're good on holy water at this time. But
Just an FYI, one tentacle from a water is enough to, if you put in your holy water, do enough to hurt everyone around you for a good bit.
oh yes, very big headache. It does something to the air.
We found this out the hard way.
I never thought of that before. But also that sounds very, very dangerous.
Oh,
The common folk probably should not know that.
No.
No,
We
that
ourselves
sounds
are
very, very dangerous.
we tend to get into dangerous situations,
These
which
things
is
are
why
already
we're
dangerous
out here trying.
on their own.
I know. We're just trying to be on the prepared side for whatever is out there. Aside from that,
Well, if
I
these
suppose
things
one
don't mix
last
well
question.
with holy water, then I think just throwing a flask at it might be enough to deter it some. If it's made of the same materials, aberrant in nature.
You to make sure you keep a stock of holy water for yourself. These things do not react well to holy water.
You have been very helpful to me and my people in this day.
I have a decent stock of my own. I thank you.
That's so sweet. I suppose,
I suppose
we
that's
will
where
be
all the
on our way
donations are
then, and-
going now.
Vanya, do you think maybe we could spare a few coins as donation for the temple at this time?
Of course.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, my love.
I'll give you some privacy so that you can decide that on your own. Dawnfather bless you.
That's decided, sir. Thank you for your hospitality. I guess there is one last question I happen to have, and you mentioned the whispered one. Have you? I don't know. I can't remember if we already asked this. I stepped away for a second. But have you seen signs of resurgence of worship or practice in the whispered one in the area?
I haven't seen anything. But when
Good.
when you find yourself in the blessings of those who oppose him, or opposed him in the ancient times, you can start to feel when your gods get anxious. And I don't know if the Dawnfather is anxious because of the things that you have brought to light to me, or it's simply because, well, there's other things in the supernatural that might be going on that us mortals simply aren't aware of.
I imagine it's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, sir.
All we can do is pray that the worst doesn't come.
That's not entirely true.
Well, you said you're an adventuring
Preparing
party.
It's true. But there isn't only prayer. There is also prepare. Sometimes the best thing you can do is lay low and continue to survive.
Which is exactly
So-
what we've been doing for 100 years.
Good man.
And Vanya's gonna hand him 10 gold.
Well, he's going to motion you to an offering box.
Well, she'll put 10 gold in there.
Well, that is all of our questions for now. Suppose we'll be on our way into the wilderness. Wish us luck, sir.
I'll wish you more than
And-
luck.
Zuvuao's blessings to you.
And the Dawnfather's to you.
Nori is
Alira
going
will-
to nod at that.
Oh, no, go right ahead.
I'm done.
Alira's gonna wait to speak with the priest.
Okay. The rest of you file out as you would.
Lagon's going to find a corner and make an offering to Melora himself, and then an offering to the Raven Queen as well. Not looking for anything other than to make offerings and have a quiet moment to himself.
And do you feel that both of them smile on you? In the ways that they do? Alira, you're holding back and watching as the priest goes back to sweeping the floor. Did you have something else? Are you muted?
No. Yes, I had something else, though I'm unsure on how to even start to question. The Dawnfather is not one that is found much worship where I come from.
Hmm.
I'm more led to question, what must you have done to earn his contempt?
His contempt? What do you mean?
She looks outdoors, watching the sunlight, or she looks outside, watching the sunlight peer in through windows, through the doors, people leave. You call him the Dawnfather.
Yes.
That's his responsibility, is it not?
Yes.
Perhaps I'm just asking the wrong person.
I'm curious as to why you think as you do. I rather think that he's actually smiled well upon this little village.
I'm sure he has.
He is the ruler of the sun and blesses us with food that he and the land mother, the wild mother, create together.
I have never once seen his blessings until recently.
Oh,
And his blessings harm. And I don't know what I did to anger him.
perhaps that's a question for you to ask him.
I've never been one to be granted audience by gods, save for one. And even then, it's merely a vision.
Sometimes that is how they speak to us. Through visions, or through circumstance, or through even just the wind. If you're listening.
I understand many tongues. The wind was never one I learned to speak. No, I try and understand the world here. I travel with my companions to learn, even to speak the common tongue here. Though difficult as it can be at times.
Mm.
And yet, all the veneration I have seen of your Dawnfather, I can't help but feel spurned. Yet I know not not what I've done. I only hope he looks at my companions with more fondness. In truth, when I offer my praises to she below, I've never seen this. She has grand temples, but they are either grand or not at all. To see something like this, and for it to be embraced by Paylor, and to end up knowing that it's found its keeper, along with the blessings therefore, is unusual to me. And you say you allow the worship of all gods in here within reason? Being separated so much from my own clerics and here priests and priestesses, I'm often feeling at a loss. But since you don't seem to have the answer to my question, suppose it's one I will simply ruminate upon some more.
Well, I'm not familiar with all of the lesser gods.
She is no lesser god. It snaps back, like she's angry. She's taking clear offense to that statement.
Sorry, I didn't mean any offense. But there is a hierarchy. And if you wish to worship, you're welcome to. I'm sorry I offended you.
I think you've answered my question. May your Dawn Father here look over you and your church. Bring many blessings to your village, she says through bitten tongue as she walks out, placing a single coin in the donation box, more out of respect of the custom that she's observed from her compatriots than actual wish to give. Offense has been taken. Apologies for what? Ignorance. How dare he refer to Lolth as a lesser god? She who ended up there cradling the whole of my people when the calamity came. When the world burned because of a war between giants and dragons. That is the action of a lesser god. And what did Palo do? Watched it all burn. Lesser god. She bites into her lower lip harshly, enough to draw blood at the very contempt of the idea.
Do you walk out of the place looking rather angry?
A bit.
You all notice this a little bit about Alira right now. She's kind of stomping a little bit as she exits the temple space.
Feet stomping, eyes squinting.
The Gon would walk out after her. Quietly. Forgive his ignorance. He knows not what he says. And then continues to walk on.
No. He doesn't. She lowers her head, allowing her hair to drape over her eyes as though shielding. Just follows behind the group, ruminating upon the conversation she just had. That's why. Palor sees Loth as a lesser god beneath him, figuratively and literally. The fact that I, a follower of hers, came into his light, he finds abhorrent. How dare a lesser god elevate herself? I am disgusted at the notion for him to end up showcasing such contempt to a goddess. True to the word.
Perhaps it's the first time she's come from the shadows that he's aware. And he is ignorant of whom he speaks.
What god would go so far below to save a people, and then to be cast aside? Did any of them come below and serve as a guide to the people who needed them most? Away from fire and war, to find not only survive but thrive within cold stone? Not even those whom the dwarves seem to have worshipped would have ended up doing so. And as far as I can tell, they worship their god who is built out of mountain. And yet deeper still, we went. Into dark and beneath dark. And there she helped us forge not just a home, an empire, and found the strength to fight against the Illithid, the Aberrant, to hunt, breed, and ride the spiders that ended up growing beneath, to find moss and fungi that were edible. Showcase us that the world hasn't ended yet. And these are the actions of a lesser god. I asked, what did I do to earn his contempt? Now I think it's what he has done that has earned mine.
Perhaps your people have been so far removed from the light for so long that you had to adapt to something else, and its pure radiance is somehow detrimental now? It might take many generations of your people coming back to the surface to overcome.
Well, lucky sevens. What now?
Well, now I suggest we make holy water and venture forth.
Yep.
I will
Gotta
have
get
to,
that true.
yeah, I will have to do that.
There's plenty of water in the nearby river, and there's however much coin that you have to be able to purchase the incense that's necessary if you need more.
I wish D&D holy water worked like real life holy water, where supposedly if even a drop of holy water goes into any other water source, then that whole water source is holy water.
That would be awesome. The only component that I might need is powdered silver.
Powdered silver. Which might be hard to come by in a little village.
Per
Assuming it works, should we have a small canteen for everyone?
That might prove dangerously funny.
Well, I mean, if you throw it.
Again, that might be dangerously funny.
True.
Okay.
I can ritually cast it. It'll take like an hour and 10 minutes.
We should have enough gold to do a bit of holy water.
The only problem is where you're going to get the powdered silver, because that's not
Yep.
that's not an abundant resource in this village.
No, I have the components necessary to create 3 of these.
Okay.
We need, if we're going to create more than that, I need another source of powdered silver, because that's all I've got of powdered silver.
Oh, 3 would be fine.
Yeah, 3 should be fine then.
Okay. It'd take 3 hours, 30 minutes to perform the rituals to create all of those.
Alright.
And you can find rest, if you would like, in a local tavern inn. It's really only big enough to have 3 rooms, and so you can occupy as much of this as you like, since they don't get a whole lot in the way of visitors.
Alright.
They'd be happy for the money. So to occupy all 3 rooms is going to be we'll just say 6 gold. It's not terribly expensive.
Yeah, we can do that.
And
Yeah.
that covers your morning breakfast as well. And there's even a bathhouse attached. That if you want to have a hot bath, you can have one.
Thank the gods, yes.
Arya takes well advantage of that. Triple
Vanya
washes her
following
hair.
behind.
Lagan would take a bath as well, but not necessarily at the same time.
Oh, come now, we've seen each other naked.
Says the one who was so uncomfortable with it the first few times.
It was a different era.
Kaz and Kurobe will go about their bath as they would normally do. Just kind of a quick in and out for them, freshen up, that sort of thing, before they head off to go sleep. What's Alira doing? Is she gonna go take a bath too?
Yeah, she will.
Okay. Lagan is spending some time making some holy water. The girls are getting a bath. The boys have already gone in and out for their bath too. And unless there's anything more that you wish to say or do with one another, then we can close out the night.
One more thing.
Mm-hmm.
Lagan used the bath time and the connection to the water to meditate. Reaffirm his connection with Zuviwell through the water.
And the water feels good.
And holy water as well.
And each of you find that the bath is nice, refreshing, warm, and it generally feels nice. It feels like there was a lot of care put into how warm this bath gets, how much is available as far as like soaps and things like that. And they all smell really nice too. And so you get a humble bath, and yeah, it does kind of help you to reconnect with the water, to really just be immersed in it for a bit, to kind of reconnect yourself with the Wild Mother and how she is both ruler of land, sky, and water. And at least in your studies, you came to know her as the mother of all beings.
Good.
So, it feels nice. Like a warm hug. And so, after that, you have your dinner, you have your rest, start of a new day, and the journey onward. But we will come back to that in a moment, as we will take a quick break and find out what lies on the path for them next. So, see you all in a few minutes, everyone. Welcome back, everyone, to Rebirth, a D&D Tale. Where we had left off, our company of adventurers had found themselves in a little village little farming village. Well, a larger farming village, to be precise. And had met up with a priest by the name of, let's see, Kazdar Ironpeak. And we're having a discussion about religion in general with him. But it's now a new day after having rested with a bath and food in their bellies provided to them from the inn that they had stayed in. It is time to be on the move. You've been informed, about 100 miles north of this little village is an abandoned village site in the middle of a wasteland forest. It used to have a name, but it doesn't anymore, as it's become overgrown with the corrupted vegetation of the wasteland, the soul-sucking grasses, and the flesh trees of a sort of smaller nature that have taken over the land. Aberrant creatures fill this wasteland, preying on one another for sustenance and multiplying. So, you are about to cross the plains into this waste. So, what do you do as your first thing before traveling northward?
Vanya is sitting there waiting for Arya to wake up, having dug a bit of a package out of her bag. Nearly forgot about.
Ha!
I'm most likely awake at the crack of dawn, having been perfectly refreshed the night before. What do you got
Arya
there?
left. Got something for you I picked up back home. Odd as that is to say. She's gonna hand the bigger one over to her first. And inside is a bit of a more fancy gray orange dress. Fancier than the basic ones that they'd seen in the capital.
Oh. Oh my gods. This is beautiful. Where did you find this?
Found a nice little shop. She's going to hand the smaller one over. These are to go along with it. And inside are silver hair sticks with silver flowers on the end of them.
Oh. She just is glimmering at dress and the pretty hair sticks and all of that, and she looks up to you with just glowing eyes, very endeared. Vanya? Why? Oh gods, you're so sweet.
I wanted to get you something nice while we were over there.
Oh. She just grabs her and pulls her into the bed with her. Nuzzles her face to Vanya's. You were so sweet. Oh, now I have to go back and also get you a very nice present. I'm gonna have to go around and do shows.
You already have with the guitar, love.
Yes, but I mean, you just keep giving me reasons to continue to spoil you back.
This is gonna become a little game, isn't it?
I mean, only if you want to.
Sounds like fun.
the superior surprise gifts.
I do love the sound of a challenge.
And whoever wins each round, I propose, is the one who gets spoiled for a date.
You're on.
Why are you genuinely the sweetest thing?
You know,
I'm
I could
going
ask
through
you
so
the same
much.
question.
No. No, I'm not.
Oh, that's bullshit.
The evidence is in the fact that what we're dealing with right now. I feel like I'm just floating along. And it's so easy to just watch the world. It's so easy to watch the most beautiful things. And you're just floating. But it's so much harder to do that when you're dealing with turbulence. You didn't tell me earlier.
I'm sorry, you cut out
How
in
are
that
you
last
doing?
part.
Yeah, my Discord is wigging out.
Discord does not like us.
You didn't tell me earlier. And she holds her hand up to Vanya's face, gently just cupping her cheek near her hand. How are you doing? What can I do for you? Because out of everyone here, I feel as though you're the one who is dealing with the greatest pressures.
I'm holding together about as well as I can. Just stay with me. That's all I ask.
I would stay with you through anything. Forever.
It was hard enough, springing that trap on those soldiers and... Got to plan a rebellion against my own emperor.
It's horrifying.
Well, I have to imagine it kind of runs in the family with my brother going AWOL and all. She cracks a bit of a smile.
Suppose so. Rebel family.
Just hope it doesn't fall back on our parents. I asked, Professor Cypher to keep an eye on them while he's still over in the, Empire. Maybe get them out if things start going too far south.
I can at least trust that he's a man of his word. What of which his word he shares.
Yeah. She's gonna curl around her a little bit, just kind of falling silent to her own thoughts.
Naria's gonna hold her and gently pet her head. And give her a kiss on her forehead and her cheek.
Probably stay like
You
that
don't
for
have to.
another hour. I'm sorry, I've got a cat that keeps clawing at my foot.
That's okay. Mine is doing zoomies in the background. A couple seconds ago, she was like, "Rah!" And then through the house.
We love cats on this
We're having
stream.
cat problems.
It's
Cat
fine.
problems. It's a cat stream.
It really is.
It wouldn't be a coffee cat
Oh,
stream
hi.
without cats.
And bippity boppity, my lap is now her property. Okay.
Well, while Arya and Vanya are snuggling together for a moment, for maybe an hour after waking up, what are Lagon, Alira, and your two other companions doing?
Mostly trying to end up keeping out of the sun for the most part. It's a long walk and tiring to end up seeing everything. Especially given on how much that I'm being spited by a god at this point. At least now I can end up naming the individual responsible.
That accursed Daystar.
But no, I'm mostly just thinking about the conversation. After sitting silently in the bath most of the time, and even after the light has gone down, if only to rest my eyes, I'm trying to take it all in. Though, at this point, fields upon fields upon fields, and tall grass.
Yep.
Who is it?
Because as you pass by on the road, you see farms as far as the eye can see, followed by tall grasses as far as the eye can see, the occasional tree to offer some shade in the daylight, but not enough of them to create an overhang. So, Alira, you are sadly quite behind in all of this for most of this day's journey. What about Lagon?
Lagan is reading the book that they got from Wickerbottom.
Okay. You're just trying to get a general idea, or you're trying to look for something specific?
Just getting as much information from the book about the area where they're going, the knowledge of the creatures that are there, any weaknesses they might have, and again back to his ideas with the other book that he possesses of potential experiments to conduct with holy water and other types of divine magics in this area to see if some of them work or how well they work.
Well, you'd have to come across one of these aberrant creatures in order to be able to perform more experiments, but suppose you'll find those two run into relatively soon. And your companions, Kaz and Korobe, are following alongside, being the ever watchful, hit things sort of people that they are. Just following along as you all move, forward for the day. Thankfully, there is no illusions that you have to get yourself through this day. And you do see some plains creatures on the road. While you are on the road, they're kind of off in the distance. They're a little tough to make out at this distance as to what they are, what they potentially might be doing. Unless, of course, you want to go and investigate. Steer off the road for a bit.
Sure, let's go
How far
investigate.
Probably a couple of miles.
Sure, why not?
Veering off the road for a couple of miles. All right. So, start heading in that direction. You start to make out the shape of bipedal creatures, somewhat large. From this distance, you can see they're green, kind of blending in a little bit with the tall grass. Although Alira, you're having a hard time even seeing anything right now.
Mhm.
What do you wish to do?
Continue getting closer to trying to identify what these things are quietly.
Okay. Make me an Arcana check at advantage, since you're using the book.
Okay. 19.
19. Okay.
19.
Okay. From what you can tell, they're called reversers. And for one particular reason, they're known to absorb healing magic and instead reverse the effect on a creature.
This is the perfect time to try something out.
And you see there's a couple of them around here.
How many? Just 2?
You see 2, so it's a pair.
Okay. What does the book say on these creatures' habits? Are they known to be in groups larger than 2?
No, they're typically very solitary creatures.
Okay.
But this might be a pair that's mated. It doesn't really give you much detail in the mating habits of these things. Whether they bond for life, whether it's a one-off like typical creatures, or if it's even mating season for them at all right now.
Right. But they are specifically known to reverse healing magic to cause harm. So,
Also known to be very hostile.
yeah. I would tell everyone to be very careful. These are very hostile creatures, known for, as reversers, for their ability to take healing and absorb it to cause you harm.
Oh, joy.
So I have some theories.
Let's hear them.
Well, if they absorb healing, what do they do with inflict wounds or harm or blight or contagion?
You're wanting to find out, aren't you?
Well, there's at least a few.
How many of them are there?
2.
2.
And they're standing relatively close together?
Relatively close together amongst some overgrown, what looks like ruins.
Let me see something. Are they
Out
at
of
least
character.
within
I
5
like
feet of each
ruins.
other? Right. Or are they at least within 5 feet of each other?
Not that close, but they're traveling together. Seem to have
Yeah.
stopped to search the ruins for something, because they look like they're rooting around.
Well, Lagan wants to find out. So let's fuck around.
Okay, so how close are you getting?
She's staying where she's at and just fired an arrow.
You do have a longbow. It does have a very long range.
Uh-huh.
I would say that one of them is definitely within 500 feet of you, so you can shoot at short range.
Yep.
Short range for a longbow.
That's where she's gonna be aiming. Math, please. 25 to hit.
That will hit. Go ahead and roll me some damage.
11 points.
And that's piercing damage?
Yep.
Okay. Well, you've got them angry, so since that was basically your surprise, we're going to call that initiative rolling now. So,
Yay!
Like I said, Lagan wanted to find out.
Yep.
Oh, I do.
Okay.
Okay, so let me get out my journal for documenting these things.
Are these the papers I need?
Do I
That
have...
one is.
Yes, I have a pencil to write with. Okay, so let me roll for them. In fact, I'll roll them separately. Since there's only 2. Okay. Okay. So, we will also show the map here. And kind of give you guys an idea of what all is here. So you got some large trees, you got some ruins, you got a little bit of foliage and things around the area. Vanya is probably way off the screen at the moment, having fired an arrow at around 500 feet. Does that put you all at the same place as Vanya, or have you gotten closer?
I think I would actually be back nearby Vanya.
You're by Vanya? Okay.
Yep.
So you're about 500 feet away from this creature?
Yep.
Derek, why do you look like you have an idea?
Oh, nothing. I'm just studying the map. Derek's
Okay.
Derek's doing the wargaming thing again.
As you do.
Okay.
You know, as he is wont to do.
Perfect.
Okay, so, for Cause and Kurobe, where do you want them? Or
Front line. Front line would be great. I think we'd all appreciate the
Yes.
walking meat shields.
So who
Yes.
wants to run them?
I will take one of them.
All
I'll
right, you take the monk.
Cause.
Oh, you can take the monk. Okay.
Yep. I like learning about how to play a monk, so I'll take Kaz.
So I'll take
Cause, you
Kurobe.
already have permission for Spectre.
Yes. Yes, I do.
And who was going to pilot Kurobe?
That sounds like Mojo.
Mojo?
Because we
Okay.
really need Kurobe with Mojo dice.
Yes.
I'll see you guys at the end of the episode, which should be in about 5 minutes.
Alright. So for those two, we want them kind of having snuck up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and say that they've kind of snuck up behind this brush, staying out of sight for the moment until Vanya has shot off her arrow as a signal. Lagon, were you creeping up with them?
Yes, but before I left, I was going to cast Aid on Vanya, Arya, and Alira
Okay.
at 3rd level. So that's 10 to your current hit points and maximum. And for the duration of the next 8 hours, you can be healed back up to that extra
How many was it?
10.
10? Okay.
Okay. Where is Alira going? Where's Alira going to be positioned?
Alira is just behind the tanks.
Just behind them. Okay. And Zephyr.
Zephyr is staying back with me for the moment.
Okay. So we got Arya and Vanya about 500 feet away from that creature, the closest one, where the rest of the party is right over here, behind this brush. Right around 60 feet away. When Vanya sees that her compatriots are in position, she salutes the arrow, and that is where we start. So, initiative rolls.
21.
Vanya at 21, Arya at
13.
5.
Alira is at 5, Arya is at 13.
Kaz is at... Jesus fucking Christ. Hold on, I need a calculator because my brain is dirt.
That's fair.
Kaz is at 14.
14, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 14. I don't know what to add to for Kurobe.
Well, for Kurobe, it's plus dexterity.
Yeah, I don't have access to the sheet.
Oh, I just gave it to you. Or did I not? Hang on. Maybe I didn't hit save. I'm dumb. Yep, I didn't hit save. I'm dumb.
Oh,
Okay.
dear.
There you go. Now you should be able to see.
Let me refresh real quick.
You said Lagon is at 14?
Yeah. Cause will go before me or whoever.
Yeah,
Because
probably.
I'm sure they've
Yeah.
got much +1. There. Okay, so Dex.
Yeah, it's plus his initiative.
And it's 15.
15. Okay,
Yeah.
so he's gonna go before causing the going.
Yeah.
Okay, so the order is gonna be Vanya, Kurobe, Kaz, the Gon, Arya, and Alira, and then my reversers are gonna be in between there. So, Vanya, you surprised the damn thing. What you doing next?
Let's get another arrow.
Ba-doom!
Math, please.
That first one did cause 11 damage. I almost
22
forgot
to
to
hit.
math it. 22 hits.
That is 12 points of piercing damage.
Oh, nice.
Full damage for that. Yeesh.
Yeah, buddy. Alright. It definitely seems pissed off. Whatever the fuck it is.
And Zephyr is going to move up. Starting to move up toward the group of the others.
Okay. So he's starting to move up. He's still well off the screen.
Yeah.
What's his speed? 35? 40? 45?
40 feet.
40? Okay. Is he dashing?
Yeah.
Okay. So he'll make a total of 80 feet.
Yeah.
So that's a step closer. Compared to where you and Arya are.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's Zephyr. Next we come up to Kurobe, who is right south.
Okay. What is the distance?
Let's see.
$16.
Yeah, 60. Plus 10 to get around the bush. 70.
Hmm.
I say bush, but they're rather short trees.
Right. Trying to find the thing on the wings.
The wings give him a fly speed equal to his walk speed.
That's still only 30,
Yeah.
so you'd have to dash to get up there.
Yep.
I guess take out the flame sword.
Activate the flame tongue and start running.
Run out to 30 feet and prepare to defend or attack if they get close.
Okay. So he's activated the flame tongue. He's got his sword out, ready to defend. All right. Anything else we doing?
No, that'll be it for Kurobe.
Okay. Then we come to Kaz, who is right here.
Yes. Kaz is he's gonna how many feet away is he?
60.
65, getting around the bush.
Got it. Jesus, his normal speed is 50. Alright.
Mm-hmm. He fast.
We're gonna
He's Sonic
He's
fast.
so fast. He's so fast. We're gonna go that full 50 feet.
Okay.
And let me see what the extra. Let me look at what he can do. I've been scrambling to try and put together what I should do for Cause.
Okay.
I know precisely what I'm doing for Arya. I have no clue what I'm doing for Cause.
Cause can bonus action Step of the Wind by spending a key point and dash.
Oh, can he? Okay.
With a bonus action, yes.
With the bonus action. He gets two actions though. I
He
think
gets
the
two
bonus
attack
action
actions.
already is to attack action. Okay.
If you bonus action Step of the Wind from there, you would get your attack action this
Yep.
round.
Would I?
Yep,
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Let's just have him zoom up there then.
Kaz got the zoomies. And he can make 2 attacks. I believe he has his blades equipped.
Yes, Blade's ready. He's gonna go ahead and do 1 attack. Let's see, it's the dedicated longsword.
Yep.
I'm just gonna do it in the chat. Oh jeez, hold on. Let me look. Dedicated longsword, we got a 22 on the hit.
That'll hit.
Cool. That is gonna be
12 slashing.
12 slash. Yep.
Okay.
And then secondary.
Second attack.
Another 22. Holy shit.
Okay, that's another 13 damage. Pardon me.
Wow.
Okay. This thing is not looking all that happy.
It's not
Now,
feeling good.
Any of that radiant or necrotic?
No, I think
No.
it's just like
Okay.
straight
Straight up slash.
precisely what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Check.
Well, that's Kaz.
Yes.
You've spent all of his abilities at the moment.
Yep.
Next up is Lagan. We've got right here. What you doing, my giant kin friend?
I forgot I was muted. I will move up to Harobe,
Okay.
and then I am going to bonus action spiritual weapon at 4th level
Okay.
next to Cause.
Next to Cause. Okay, let me see if I can find my spiritual weapon miniature, because I have been having trouble finding it recently. Well, it looks like I'm going to have to use a stand-in, so I'm going to use a rat as a stand-in for that. I can't seem to find my spiritual weapon sword.
It's okay.
There's a spiritual weapon there now.
Alright. My spiritual weapon is going to make its attack.
Bonk!
And that is 25 to hit.
That'll hit.
That... Whoa. Just a second. That is 2d8. That is 20 points of force damage.
Ooh, yikers. He's not happy about that at all.
And that will be it for me.
Okay. No action that you want to do?
Oh, that's right, that was...
Yep, because you have an action left.
Oh. Alright, Toll the Dead
Toll the dead.
on the reverser. That's a wisdom saving throw.
You hear the ringing of that bell. That normal sound that you would hear with Toll the Dead. It doesn't seem to affect it, though. You know the spell went off, but it didn't land. Or if it did, it was brushed off.
Necrotic does not do anything to them.
Okay. That does it for Lagon's turn. We have our first little green friend here, who is going to make 3 attacks on Kaz. 1 bite and 2 claw attacks. The bite is a 22 to hit.
It hits.
And that is this one. And this one. That is going to be 7 points of piercing damage and 12 points of force damage.
Oh.
And then the claws were a 16 and 19 to hit.
16 does not hit, 19 does.
Okay. Okay, so 1 claw lands. That is 1 point of slashing damage and 8 points of force damage.
Noted.
Noted. It really only just went to face him. Okay. That's it. Does it for the first one. The second one comes out from behind the ruins, noticing that things have gone a little bit wonky, but can't quite get anywhere without dashing. So it's taking up kind of a defensive position to block the others of you that are coming. Oh wait, it was going on its own turn. Never mind. It doesn't do that just yet. First we have Arya.
Yes. All right. I'm going to get a little bit closer. I want to be within 120 feet range if I can. I
You
know
are
I was
at
500
500 right now.
Great. I'm useless. Oh, I know what I can do. Can I get up near Zephyr?
Yes, you can.
Okay, I'm gonna get up near Zephyr, and I'm gonna grant him a guidance.
Oh, actually, if you were to get your full distance up to, if you were to do your full distance, you would still be 20 feet away from him, even if you dashed.
Jesus, the dog goes fast.
Dog go fast.
Fast puppy.
He dashed on his turn, so he went 80 feet.
Oh God. All right, never mind. I guess I'm just getting closer at a normal speed.
So just moving up 30?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm
you
in no
are now
particular rush.
470.
I'm still at only like 15 HP because we never resolved the threads thing.
Oh. That's a thing we need to fix.
Yeah. At least you got some kind of armor on now.
Yeah.
That should have been done by now. I apologize that I was not present to do so.
We forgot.
It's okay. It's still a thing.
That's okay. You have everyone else to protect you.
Yep. Does mean that Reverser 2 is not able to get to anyone without dashing, but he's going to take up his defensive position like I wanted. Brings us to a Lyra.
Oh,
You are right here, friend.
I'm gonna end up moving along the angle where that small shrub is, 15 feet.
So like right here.
And yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that should be within 30 feet. 30 feet.
Yep.
And I am going to need. Let's see here. I'm going to need a Constitution savings throw as I am casting Blight.
Blight.
I don't get to use this spell too often.
For Blight, is that necrotic damage?
Yes, it is.
Your spell goes off. You feel like the creature would have been very resistant to it if it wasn't already immune.
Oh, shit. All right.
So you spend the spell slot.
Lagon did just say these things seem to be immune to necrotic damage. Because he tried his Toll the Dead on it, and he knows it hit, and it did nothing.
I personally did not hear you say that you exclaimed that to everyone.
I did say immediately after that necrotic damage does nothing to them.
I'm an idiot. We'll move on.
I apologize.
We need to be clear about this. How much information you're presenting at any given time, especially because you're in a battle. So, make it clear that you're exclaiming that next time. Okay. Which brings us back to Vanya, 500 feet away.
Is that further one still in line of sight?
Yeah. Yeah, you can still see it.
Just getting an arrow.
Alright. Pew pew.
21 to hit.
That'll hit.
And that is 8 points of piercing. And it's going to get another arrow.
Okay.
19 to hit.
That will hit.
$11 points of piercing.
Okay. Looking pretty rough, that one.
And Zephyr's going to make another dash.
Okay. So he's up even further. I need to math. Figure out where he is. Okay. Not quite in the fray yet, but he's about a little over halfway there. Alright. So that is Zephyr, Karobe, up in front of this guy who's hurting. Oh no, not Karobe. Karobe's not there. He's right here.
Okay. So with that, Karobe is going to move up to attack that thing.
Okay. Attacking the one that hasn't been hit yet. Alright.
Yeah.
Go for his attack rolls.
And he gets 2 attacks.
Yep.
That's 21 to hit. That's a 21 to hit.
21 hits.
Alright. And I don't know all the damages. Can't find the damage on the flame tongue.
Flame tongue is 2d6 fire.
2d6.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that is going to be 10 points of fire damage.
And how much
13.
piercing? Okay, 13 piercing.
13. For the first. And then 9, 23 to hit.
That'll work.
That is 8 and fire. Okay, so 8 points of slashing and 12 points of fire.
Ooh. Looking toasty. Cauterizing wounds as you slash into him.
And that will do it for Kurobe.
Okay. Brings us to Kaz, who is all up in this guy's face right now. Spectre?
Sorry, I was lost trying to find music. Alright, Cause. Yeah, Cause is just gonna keep beating on this guy as many times as I can.
Okay.
So we're gonna take 2 more slashes.
2 more slashes.
Give him the old 1-2 buckaroo.
Yep.
Click. First one is 15.
15 just hits.
Just hits. Great. That's gonna be an 11 slashing, I'm pretty sure. Wait,
Okay.
does it count both of those numbers or just one?
No, just one.
Just one. Okay. And here's the other one. 14 probably does not hit.
Does not hit, no.
It does not hit. I think I can use a key to do a couple flurry of blows, so I think I'm gonna...
Key point for flurry of blows, bonus
Neither-
action. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Cool. 1 key point, flurry of blows. How many hits does that do?
2 unarmed.
2 unarmed strikes. Cool. Click. That's a 24 for 12.
Okay.
And click. That's an 18 for 8.
Making me have to do all the math here. It is looking pretty bad. That one's looking like it's coming to pieces, really.
Slash, slash.
And you do see a little bit of this sort of black spindly hair as you slash it open.
Good.
Same with Kurobe. He smells
Not
burnt flesh and hair as he's cutting through this thing.
I don't like that they have hair. I think I don't know if there's anything else I can do.
That would be it for Kaz, I think, because that's action, bonus action. You
Yep,
can move with him
that's
if you
both his
want.
actions and yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. I don't think I can. Yeah, if I've already used a bonus action, that's about it. So we're good.
Okay. That does it for
Kaz
Kaz.
is
Let's
just gonna Eat damage.
Eat it. We're on round 2 for Lagon. What you doing, Lagon? You're muted if you're talking.
Give me just a second. My computer just freaked out and
Uh-oh.
completely lost my character sheet.
Uh-oh.
So give me just a second.
Uh-oh.
That's no bueno.
But my spiritual weapon will take the swing at the one.
Okay.
Does an 18 hit?
Yes.
Okay. Eight. Plus 5. Believe. Yes, 2d8 plus 5, so that is going to be 17 points of force damage.
Okay.
And I am going to run up to the other side of Karobe.
You can get right there. On 30 feet.
Alright. And I am going to put my hand on this and cast Inflict Wounds.
Okay. Make your spell attack roll.
Alright.
Oh, by the way, before you do that, is Inflict Wounds necrotic damage?
Inflict Wounds is melee attack spell. Yes, necrotic damage. Damn it.
You would already know that.
I so used it because I was going to try.
Okay. That basically confirms the immunity to necrotic damage. You spend the spell slot for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, Lagon? I believe that's your bonus action and your action.
Yeah, that's
That's
all
it
I
for
can
you?
do.
Okay. Well, this guy is not too happy about the fact that he's getting pummeled on by Kaz. He's starting to think that even if he were to run, it wouldn't do well.
No, I don't think so either.
How intelligent is this creature? And not very. You're a threat. But it also knows when it's about to lose. So it is going to attempt to run. Kaz gets an attack of opportunity.
Cool. Yeah, let's go ahead and send it. 26.
Hits.
Because that was a nat 20.
Ooh, so that's 14. 14 damage.
Hey, you
Yep,
can hover over it.
that puts it out.
Cool. 14 and 11.
It is dead.
Dead.
D-E-D, dead.
Saw the opportunity, took it. Excellent job, Kaz. I can't do anything else.
Okay. Which does bring us to Arya.
Now, Arya can do something else. Arya is going to continue to scoot on up. Another 30 feet.
Okay. Does she want to dash?
No, she's just moving at a leisurely pace.
Okay. Brings us to our second boy. Lagon, you just touched it. It doesn't like that you touched it. It wants you to feel the full might of its bite and its swings. Oops, I dropped one. Okay. Got one bite and 2 slashes. So the bite is going to be 25 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
That is going to be 6 points. No, hang on. 9 points of slashing damage and 12 points of force damage. The bites are going to be a 15 and 15 and... What's 15 plus 8? 23?
The 15 will miss, the 23 will hit.
Okay. So that's going to be 6 points of slashing damage and 5 points of force damage. It don't like you. It don't like you at all.
Okay. I don't like it either.
Okay.
And because of that, give me just a second. Let me get back to my reactions because it's about to take some thunder damage.
Okay. Pardon me.
Go. Wrath of the Storm, dexterity saving throw.
Okay. For the purposes of things, does this count as a magical effect?
This is
Because it's a cleric thing?
When you hit me with an attack, it's your reaction. You make a dexterity saving throw.
And it's a cleric feature, though, right?
It's Wrath of the Storm for being a Tempest cleric.
Yeah. Okay. Then I think for the purposes of that, it counts as a magical effect.
Okay.
So it does have advantage on this roll. Not that that helped a whole lot. Well, kind of did. You said a dexterity saving throw?
Yeah.
That is 19.
And that will still succeed. But it's still going to take half damage. So half of 15 is 7 points of lightning damage.
Okay. Cool beans. Brings us to Alira. You are right here, my friend. You're muted, by the way.
Sorry.
It's all good.
Let's see here. We'll try flames. Or no, it can't do flame strike because I lost my D6 just now. So
You lost your D6? It fell on the floor?
yeah, earlier on in the broadcast. So
Oh, you want me to roll it? I can do it.
yeah, sure. Flame strike. We need a dexterity savings throw 4d6.
And okay, so it gets advantage on magic. So that will be a 20, so take half damage. And that's 46 of fire damage.
Yep.
Is there anything else on Flame Strike?
Vertical column of defined fire rolls down from the heavens. Each creature within a 10-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder can be caught with it. Fails half. That's it.
I thought it was 46 fire, 46 radiant.
Oh no, you're correct. I misread that.
Okay.
46 of both.
Yeah, 46 on both. Okay, so that's... that comes out to 18 half to 9 fire damage. And you find that the radiant fire has no effect. Alright. Next up is Vanya. Round 3.
Well, that one's going to get a couple arrows.
Alright. Let's go.
The first one being a nat 20.
Woo!
There we go.
Let's go.
Let's see those. 8 points piercing.
Ooh.
I rolled low on the damage die.
Of course you did.
And then 24 to hit for the second one.
24 hits.
9 points piercing damage for that one.
Okay.
And Zephyr's going to dash up another 80 feet.
Okay. He's pretty close. He's 250 feet away now. Alright. Does it for Vanya. We got Korobe up next.
Korobe is going to take his swings at this thing again.
Swing, swing.
Uh, 19 to hit.
19 hits.
Alright. 11 points of slashing and 10 points of fire damage for the first hit. That's 25.
Hits.
12 points of slashing damage and 8 points of fire. And then what is it? Action surge,
Yep, action surge.
and take 2 more attacks. Okay, 26.
26 hits.
Hit. That's going to be 10 points of slashing damage and 8 points of fire damage. Last attack, 25 will hit.
Mm-hmm.
So 12 points of slashing damage and 11 points of fire damage.
How do you want to do this?
I'm thinking as the last attack, after this flourish of brandishing this flame-tongued sword, Kurobe just stabs this one in the eye for the final blow.
And it is no more. This thing falls to the ground in a heap of greenish flesh. You see from the wounds are bits of that hair that for a second kind of wiggle within the wounds, but then just kind of go limp, motionless.
Did the book say if there was anything usable of these creatures?
No. The only use that you can think of is if you carve bits and pieces away, you might be able to create more bombs out of it.
Well, that is my thought at this moment, is to create more, have a way to create more of my holy hand grenades.
Mm-hmm.
So I will be collecting materials from these creatures then. And see if I can figure out why it heals them and why it harms Arya at the moment. So continuing my studies.
Mm-hmm. That'll take a little bit of time as Arya, Zephyr, and Vanya start walking up towards the group. The threat concluded.
Oh.
That wasn't too terrible. I come up with, I guess, Kaz in this instance and Lagan and try and inspect how the wounds are looking. See if there's anything I can do to help heal.
Yeah, Kaz and the gun kind of got beat up. But how much they got beat up? Well, let Mojo describe that a little bit.
Lagan's close to half his health at this point.
Oh, okay. Well, Lagan is
he's
definitely the
beat
most
up.
beat up.
He's looking beat up, but he and Kaz both took some good damage from these things.
I will go ahead and I pat Lagan on his shoulder, like reaching up and patting him on my shoulder, and I will go ahead and use my ASMR feature to give him back 10 HP, which isn't much. I am reassuring.
Pat, pat, pat.
Everything. That puts me close to 3/4 health.
Thankfully, this thing didn't leave any threads of hair in you.
Yeah, that's what I'm inspecting between collecting bits from them and looking at my wounds, making sure that there's none of that in them.
Nope, you seem to have a clean bill of health aside from the fact that, you got a little beat up.
Right.
Vanya's gonna use Cure Wounds on him. And give him back 9 more points. How dare you betray me, Dice?
What?
I'm trying to be nice. What's worse, that was at level 2.
Oh. How much damage did Kaz take?
Like a lot more, but he also has a lot more health.
Oh, I'll do a second
Right.
level
Okay.
on Kaz. That'll be 20 HP back to Kaz.
20.
Ew.
There you go.
That puts him at full.
Okay.
Nice.
I had a monster cat come and raid my battlefield.
Cats.
They tend to do that, yeah.
I love you, Kiki, but just not now. But, yeah. You have healed, and you're not running into any kind of issue with letting those things go off, so maybe the danger is completely gone with these two things knocked out completely, thoroughly. Hacking them to pieces, Lagon is kind of studying the teeth and the claws of this thing, which surprisingly are the only bits of it that seem to really have none of this hair stuff in it.
Only the teeth and the claws?
Yeah, the rest of the creature has some threads kind of sporadically throughout.
Okay.
You see that one wound that it might have taken, as a result of an injury of some kind, had been sewn together there by these threads of hair.
Hmm. How much does the Empire know of these creatures? Did they create the creatures? Or have they started their creations off watching these creatures and the manifestations these things take?
That's a good question. Depends how long the this special militia, I think, was formed. How long ago it was formed.
Vanya, you might know the
Maybe-
answer to that. Make a history check.
Alrighty. $17.
It started about the time that, right around the time that you saw the dragon over the mountains. Shortly after that.
It was maybe about 100 years ago.
And this infection spread starting about 100 years ago, which leads me to think that maybe it all came hand in hand all at once. Which is rough.
Very.
That's when you know that the Emperor announced a special operations group in the military. What they were, how they functioned, or where they got things from, you weren't sure until now.
Well, yeah, I don't know what those are, and I don't like them. I'm gonna go look at the ruins.
Okay. Make an investigation check, Arya.
The investigation. Why am I always rolling investigation when I have none? Oh well, it's okay.
You're the
I
one
rolled
who's
a 19.
curious.
I am. I should really improve my investigation.
So, you got a 19?
19 flat. Yep.
Nice. You kind of look through these ruins. It's really only a couple of walls that are still intact. Mostly intact. In that you see that the bricks of the stone have kind of eroded. The mortar that may have held most of this together is crumbling. There's only bits that are propped up, and that's by luck. If anyone were to lean against this wall, it probably would crumble. But it's stood here for a while now. And upon inspecting it, kind of looking it over, given how familiar your whole party is with nature and the natural sort of effect of things, this has been here a while, like 500 or more years worth of rain deterioration. Maybe some kind of ancient gnome, sort of.
Are there any etchings in it or anything like that? Or is there iconography, maybe?
Not that has survived the rain. This is a very rainy sort of tropical region, and so with how much rain has fallen over the years, most of that, if anything, has eroded away.
I'm almost curious to know if there's something buried beneath.
We could dig and find out.
We could. Does anyone know any dowsing tools? Just in case. I want to know if there's even anything worth digging for. I don't want to. I don't think we should be digging anything unless we know what's down there.
That would be
If there
dowsing
is
rod.
anything.
And I don't know that I know.
Well,
What are you trying to find?
Anything of
I don't
value.
know.
Anything of value. That's not very specific.
No.
Uh,
I mean, it's just that this place has been here for a while. It's mostly that I'm trying to understand if there's any cues to who or what might have made this place. Rather than just looking like a ruins, does it look like architecturally that it had a purpose? Like a temple or a house or a watchtower.
On a 19, and since there's really only the one sort of corner of a wall that's remaining, I mean, you saw what was on the battle map, but that's more than what is there. You probably get like most of a corner of this wall, and even that's coming apart. There are different color stones as part of the brickwork, so it was created uh, with some kind of plan as to the colors in mind.
Ooh,
But
different
it's
colored stones. Okay. Well, what kind of stones are we talking about? Are like, is there like, are the stones regional? It seems like from different regions. Like one is a desert stone, and then one is like a granite, or is it more like
it
they're
looks
just different types of stones that seem local?
it looks like stones that would be local to Uct, but you're not super familiar with with the book. You would be able to know what kind of plant life and possibly even geology might be here in Uct as a part of reading the book. Um, so yeah, they look like they would be fairly even fairly common stone, like your your typical your typical common stone,
Okay.
like different colors of your common stone.
Okay.
But they were arranged like this with a purpose, so there was a purpose to this building. But what that purpose is, there's not enough here that's left over and survived to determine that.
Understandable.
So it's been rained on like this for centuries, maybe longer. There's no way to really know, given the jungle. But one important factor is that it is a stone building on the ground, not a wood building in a tree. So maybe that's
Which implies
a clue.
what? Mm, if it is a clue, I don't think I would know the relevancy of it.
Well, in the book, you would know that gnomes typically fashion their homes out of wood, around and in the trees of the Impagu jungle, way even back 100 years
So
or more.
this is not gnomish then, is
Might
what
not
is
be.
being implied.
Might not be.
Huh.
And that's been true for as long as Professor Wickerbottom has ever known gnomes. And that could be even longer than that. You're just not sure. She doesn't state very much of that in the book.
Okay. Non-gnomish.
And any gnomish building that you see on the ground currently was in the big cities like Dawnmire. Because Dawnmire's in the plains, it's not in the jungle itself.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I don't think that this building, what it was, might have been gnomish. I don't know if there's anything to it more than that. It seems old. Very old. I wish I could speak to stones. I'd be able to know about their past. What they've seen. Oh well.
What only that would be.
Illyria, can you speak to stones?
Stones.
Yes.
Just no, no. They're. It's not in their nature to speak, and trying to make them do so They're incredibly stubborn. Stubborn and ornery.
Bad conversationalists.
They've given me the silent treatment for my entire life. That's what it's called, right? Silent treatment.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It brings out a chuckling Kaz and Kurobe.
However, I do have a alternate method, or I may have.
What you
I'm
thinking?
gonna try and roll a survivalist check to see if I can find incredibly long-lived plant. Oh no! Wait! No, plant don't have that level of memory, so never mind. Nope.
No, yeah, Speak with Plants is only a day long. However, do you have commune with nature? Should be available to you, but maybe not prepared.
Yes, I do, but I do not have it prepared.
Okay. Okay.
It's not a spell I think I've ever used.
It's not
Then
a
again,
spell
I
that you
don't often
typically
play druids, so.
It is something you could sleep on, however, if you wanted to stay here for the night.
Seems to be a safe place. Safe-ish.
It's your call.
What do the rest of you think? Camp out here?
Well, what time is it?
Yeah, it's about midday.
Feels a bit early.
You're only a couple
If
miles off the
we-
road.
It's true. If we were to continue up the road, where do you think we would land roughly on the map, Colin?
Yeah, let me let me show you. So you're probably a little bit further from where you are. The yellow circle being where you are. That's about where you would be at the end of the night if you went back to the road.
Okay.
Kind of the center of that.
We still have daylight. Oh, but I want to know about this place. Fuck it, we secured this place. It's all set. I don't think anything else is gonna come by as long as we properly burn this. It's just like gestures towards the corpses of the creatures.
Yeah, it gives us a chance to get those two healed up properly and everything else.
Agreed. Alright. I'm fine with staying here for now.
Okay with you, Lagon?
Lagan.
That is quite all right. I need to tend to Arya's wounds while we're waiting.
Fair enough.
Okay. Well, with this leg of the journey concluded, I think that is a good place for us to call the session for tonight.
Oh, fantastic.
And we will pick up there next time. Thank you guys for playing.
No worries.
Thank you.
Hopefully next time we have Lethality and Fat Guy with us so we can have them man their characters for the next time we get into a fight. But
Preferably.
we do miss them. We want them to be here.
Yes.
So, with that being said, we have some experience to dish out. So, you get your 5 for attending the session. Congratulations. Woo! You found out a little bit about a creature called the Reverser in this particular region. I think that warrants another 3 experience. And then we have our roleplay prompts, which you, the cast, deliberate on, and then our audience favorite for tonight. And that audience favorite is determined by you, the audience. So those of you who are out there watching here live, that is one advantage that you get to watching live, is you get to have a say in who gets extra experience points. And we have a kitty. We have a Kit Kat. Well, let's determine the roleplay prompt winners, shall we? Who moved our plot for today? That sounded like a growl of some kind.
Apologize.
It's all good. It sounded like a cat growl. I just found it very funny.
I'm confused. I don't know who pushed the plot.
I feel like... Oh god, I feel like maybe...
Vanya would be my choice.
Vanya?
Lagan or Vanya would end up being my choice.
Yeah.
Leaning a little bit
Lagan?
more towards Vanya, but I can go either way.
Lagan would end up being my choice just because I feel like he led a lot of the conversations. There's also
All right.
battle this.
I will end up handing it then.
Okay.
My mind's changeable.
That scene I will give to Vanya though.
So Lagan gets our plot mover. Vanya's already got 1 vote apparently for the best scene. Anyone else?
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, unanimous it is then. Best line.
Lesser. What makes her lesser? It makes her as a good lesser. I thought that was a very interesting and introspective line, and I really enjoyed the thought process behind that. So
I was gonna say Arya for the whole bit about now I'm gonna have to end up going busking again, or the equivalent.
That was pretty funny.
I'm going to go with Alira for the what makes it lesser.
Okay. That's 2 votes for Alira, 1 vote for Arya. Anyone else?
You're muted.
I keep forgetting that. I was going to give it to Alira.
Okay. But I think it's 3 and 1, or is it 2 and 2?
3 and 1.
3 and 1.
3
Yep.
and 1. All right. Arya or Alira, you get it. Aww. All right. Well, we're still waiting on the audience vote, but how did you guys enjoy the session?
I always.
It was fun, except for, a certain black asshole clawing at my feet.
I got to do combat this session, so I'm happy. Even though
Yeah.
it was with cause.
Yes, indeed. Indeed.
You got to learn monk stuff.
Monk
I don't
stuff.
mind running the monk. Yeah, I don't mind running the monk, you know? Considering that the sorcerer is the whole whopping 15 HP
Or, yeah.
and has for like 3 sessions.
That's okay. After the long rest with Lagon's help, your hit point maximum will be restored back to max.
Promise.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That was intended to have been done the before we met
Just haven't been
Professor
here to declare
Wickbottom.
it. Neither of us.
I did declare that once we got back to the ship, that was what Lagon was going to be doing, but because I wasn't here to remind anyone, it got left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's alright though.
It'll get done now.
Yep. Yep. Once you have the long rest, which you will get at the start of next session, we will start a new day, so you will have
Aria,
it.
Yay.
Aria got the audience favorite.
There we
Yay! That was one for everyone.
Yay!
Yeah.
Even distribution.
Even distribution. Hell yeah. Alright, well that does it for
So close to
everybody.
that next level.
Anybody ding a level?
I'm
So
nice.
close.
In a great way.
We're just over here like, I can
Taste it.
Right.
Yes.
Or is it 13? 110, right? For 11?
For 11, yes, 110. Yep, indeed.
Yeah, I'm 13 away.
Nice. Nice.
I should, if everything goes well, I should have it next week.
Yeah. Let's go. All right.
oh
Well,
my god.
that concludes everything for us tonight. Thank you all out there in the live Twitch audience for coming along with us. And you should go and subscribe on YouTube because that's where we post all of the VODs. They are likely a week behind, just to give us a little bit of a buffer. But if you're watching live, you get to participate in all of the goodness that we do around here. And so if you're on YouTube and you're not following on Twitch, you should head to twitch.tv/coffeecatpresents, and that's where we do everything live. So that being said, we're going to go and raid our good friend Maddie over at the Hero Zone. He's painting figures. He's talking table talk. He's talking TTRPGs and all of the similar things. So let's go give him a little bit of love. And until we see you on Wednesday for more of Blood and Iron, our vampire game, and next week Saturday with more Rebirth, say goodnight, everybody.
Nice.
Night.
Good night.